Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jason Appleton, the Crypto Crow, here live with Shingo Lavine. We'll be right back after this disclaimer.
You gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. You gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. You gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. You gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins.
So for whatever reason, I was still hearing the Crow Your Coin song long after it was over, and I'm not sure if it's Shingo or something that I'm doing on my end. But anyway, we are back and we are live, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Crypto Crow. I was still hearing Wait, I'm hearing myself. Crow Your Coin song long after it was over, and I'm not sure if it's Shingo or something that I'm doing on my end. But anyway,
I have myself muted.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait,
I am the
hold on.
Crow. Oh wait, I'm hearing myself. Crow Your Coin song long after it was over. It was me. I didn't realize that I had the video playing in the background. All right, so this giant ogre's a little stupid this afternoon. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. Shingo, I assume you're well fed. He's been enjoying some oatmeal. I've had some crackers as we've been testing everything, getting ready. I'm just going to say what the whole news is right now, and we'll be done in 2 seconds. No, I'm kidding. So Shingo, first of all, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate you doing this here with the Crypto Crow. Obviously, you know, I'm a big fan of Ethos. I've been waiting for this, and the moments to come for quite a while. So thanks for joining us, man. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, and thank you so much for having me. I'm a big fan of kind of this whole all these YouTubers out there, and when you approached me, I got really excited to be able to do this.
Good deal, good deal. So now I have a portfolio of a whole bunch of coins, and I know you get this question a lot because I've watched them. For those who are kind of new to this whole thing and they're thinking, okay, well, why does everybody care so much about Ethos? What the hell is this? What makes it so great? Why am I tuning into the Crow Channel live today? What is it that you are about to reveal this afternoon? What's going to change the world for cryptocurrency as we know it?
Well, so we're really excited to finally be able to announce, where we're going to be launching the Universal Wallet in the first country, and we're getting very, very close to this. And as you know, Product Council has been testing this for quite a while, and they're just about to move to the final stage of testing, which is mainnet testing. And we have basically 200 people banging on this app, and it's amazing because we get a week of testing every 24 hours, and we've been just crushing bugs left and right, and so we're getting very close, and we're happy to announce that that the Netherlands is going to be our very first country to release.
The Netherlands. So you heard it here. The Netherlands. I'm not getting this wallet yet, apparently. Wah wah. But that's okay. So the Netherlands. So what is the process going to be? So everybody in the Netherlands, now they know they're getting Christmas early. What's the process? What's going to happen? Are they all going to get an email? Hey, you're invited. Here, download it. How's that going to work?
Yeah, so the reason we chose this country was because a lot of our core supporters are in the Netherlands, and we've a lot of the people who have been with us from day one and have patiently not asked when wallet have been are all from the Netherlands. Timon, our customer service representatives from the Netherlands. Michael, one of our moderators and longtime supporters, is also from the Netherlands. So all these people in the Netherlands. Lucky for you, you guys are our biggest fans.
One of my old admins, Dax, I think is actually now your admin. So you stole one of my people, man. But Dax is a good guy, and he didn't always know how to take me, but yeah, Dax is also from the Netherlands, and I'm sure he'll serve you guys very well.
Yeah. Well, thanks for all the Netherlands admins out there. But uh, but yeah. So the way it's going to work is we're going to have a live release map, and we'll also be releasing what that's going to look like later today. And that live release map is going to show which countries is coming next, and where it's already released. And then the reason we chose the Netherlands, oftentimes when you have high potentially very high volume apps being released, you typically see them being released in places like New Zealand, where it's a kind of a low population area, and so you can test the scalability. You can test it's kind of like you can think of it like version 1.0 as the final stage of testing. And so we've been very prudent about sticking to our testing schedule and identifying issues very early. And so with the Netherlands release, it kind of gives us a similar sort of structure in our development cycle, and that also lets us it lets us very quickly scale to other countries as we quickly identify issues. And what you'll see is new countries being added every day as we move towards the next phase of development. And so the Netherlands, lucky you get it first, but all of you waiting out there in the other countries, you'll get it very soon after them.
What is very soon, if you don't mind me asking? What do you think the total process is going to be, the total time frame between a universal rollout?
So we're aiming for one country a day. And if nothing goes wrong, that you should see that happen pretty rapidly. And we're also thinking about having some more kind of community engagement. So maybe you'll even get to vote on which country gets to come next. And we think it'll be a really fun thing. And don't worry, nobody's going to be missing out on kind of the registering domains or getting airdrops, because we're going to be holding off all of that until after we finish the global rollout.
Good. So yeah, that's what we talked about a little bit. Is you see this stuff with these airdrops, and I'm actually curious how exactly will these airdrops work. So when the wallet has been completely released, so everybody's got it that wants it, and then suddenly you're just gonna find Zilliqa tokens on your wallet waiting for you. Like, is that how it's basically gonna work? Just everybody's just gonna get free tokens? Is that?
So we want to have it kind of be done semi-randomly. We want to keep it mostly fair in terms of kind of the value that gets dropped, but it's going to be a random selection in terms of what you get. And actually, so we've been talking a lot about our payroll tool, but our payroll tool that we built specifically for ourselves, because we've scaled to the point where doing payroll in crypto has gotten kind of unwieldy. But we're going to be using that same exact tool to airdrop all the tokens to all of everyone out there. So we'll have stages of this airdrop, and we think that this airdrop program will be a rolling program that we'll see more tokens participate in. And we see it as a really good way to get someone who's new to crypto kind of in their foot in the door. If you think about many people's first experience with crypto is a friend says, hey, I'll just send you a couple bucks of Bitcoin, and then they see kind of that Bitcoin go up to double or triple, and then they get really excited about crypto. So if we can emulate that same experience in a scalable fashion, where all these new people get a little piece of crypto, and then they get to track it, and there's no risk to them, and they just get to see what all this is all about. I think you'll get a lot more people excited about what crypto can do and what crypto is for them.
So is the airdrop going to be relevant to how many ethos that you're holding on the wallet at all, or is it truly just random, like everybody's just kind of going to get something thrown at them?
Yeah, well, so we've mentioned this kind of in the Telegram channel, because we've gotten a lot of questions about that. And the reason that we can't have it be any sort of kind of inducement, and I've cited several kind of legal precedents for that. But basically, we want it to be fair, and we don't want to participate in kind of any deceptive marketing practices. So it's just going to be a random airdrop, and everybody gets to win, and nobody kind of loses out or feels like they're the rich are getting richer or anything like that.
Right. Okay. So one question that I just saw pop up by the Ghost is, can you, when the wallet launches, and let's say I've got a credit card in hand or whatever, how much functionality will this have over like your Coinbase? Because one of the big things that I've kind of always talked about is how I feel like Ethos Wallet's probably going to take a lot of the market share away from Coinbase. But one of those big things is, can I purchase any coin that I could hold within the Ethos Wallet using fiat currency?
So that's a somewhat complicated question, and so the answer is kind of yes and no. So initially, kind of the first wallet release, we've said this before, that we see this as the heart of the ecosystem. It's the centerpiece of how we're going to be enabling all these different things, and we've cited what are some of the regulatory concerns that regulators have in this space. One of them is custody. How do you handle custody in this new space? And the way we say we handle custody is by giving each individual custody. And so there's a lot of issues like that need to be solved first, and that's why we're doing the Universal Wallet release. And then that'll be next. That's the next stage, is then the Fiat gateway and an investment platform that will allow you to purchase and store crypto and traditional assets, depending on kind of your financial profile, and you'll have several options, including like self-directed or kind of and different automated offerings that will allow you to do that. And so to build something like that, it takes a lot of regulatory work. And I've said this again before. We put in 9 months of kind of back work and back testing and portfolio analysis and all that. Coming from a traditional perspective, we have a lot of financial heavyweights on our team, so we've really put in the work and effort, and and a lot of us now are very optimistic in terms of kind of what our regulatory filing, and if we're successful, we'll be the very first crypto company regulated in that fashion, which is very, very exciting. But what everyone has to understand is that we're doing something very new, and we're doing something that nobody's tried to do before, which means that there's a lot of regulatory uncertainty, but there's also a lot of opportunity in that if we're able to succeed. And again, we're very optimistic in that.
Now, based off of the functionality of the wallet as I see it now, and having a better understanding as to what it is you guys are launching here, one thing that I would actually love to see, and I'm curious if it's even on your whiteboard yet, is to potentially utilize the wallet to capture, KYC, AML information from your users and enable them to participate in ICOs they're eligible for through the wallet. Is that even anything on the map for you guys?
Yeah, so it's, I would say kind of yes and no. So something that we're trying to do actually is move this kind of ICO structure into a regulatory framework. So instead of kind of trying to skirt these regulatory requirements, there exist regulatory structures out there already that allow an issuer to do these sorts of things. And so I would say, without kind of jumping too far ahead, yes, that we're going to be capturing KYC AML information for the purposes of participating in certain structures. But I think that when people start to see what those structures are, it's going to be different than an ICO, but I think it'll be a lot better in terms of kind of how in terms of like how a regulator would perceive it, and how the different rights that it would afford the individual.
I got to be honest, even listening to you talk directly about this stuff, knowing where you guys are, knowing where you started, I truly, and for those watching, I made a prediction that a lot of people said that I was crazy, like, oh, this guy's nuts, because I predicted that Ethos could be $75 by the end of the year. And the thing of it is as crazy as that may sound, I see Ethos being something that's going to be very widely sought after by institutional money as it starts really pouring into the space. And I know you can't really discuss anything on speculation or any of that. That's what I'm here for. But, for those that think I'm crazy, I truly think that Ethos as a brand is something that is ultimately going to end up, it's like, I see Ethos as being one of the first brands truly that becomes, kind of like Google is to searching. You know what I mean? Amazon is to e-commerce, because it's ultimately, I think it's going to become a verb, you're going to ethos things. When you're getting involved in a cryptocurrency or you're new to the space, you're going to grab the wallet. You're going to have so much functionality open to you. And so, yeah, and if it's not the end of 2018, it's going to be very soon after. That's just my absolute guess. But, so there's some other questions here real quick. One of them, what is the projected time frame for the Fiat gateway?
So there's a lot of things. So again, kind of there's a lot of things that go into that. And, the first step of that is, of course, kind of the regulatory filing, which we've done. And so when people ask for kind of a time frame, it's difficult. It's not like I can say, hey, we're building, you know, a Farmville app, and I can tell you exactly all the steps that would take to, you know, build such an app, and, you know, build something like that. And then, you know, we'd follow a traditional development cycle. You know, what people are basically asking for is the same level of kind of clarity. And we, you know, and we have, you know, our internal kind of timeline of what we want to achieve. But again, you know, that timeline is always in flux because of, you know, changing requirements and changing regulatory landscape and changing kind of development requirements, even, you know, with, you know, the pace of development that happens in the blockchain space. So in terms of kind of a time frame, you know, you should expect to just hear stuff about that, you know, soon, and you should expect it. And then I think as we start to release more information, I think it'll become more and more clear, you know, what we're doing, why it's so difficult, and why, you know, why it's so beneficial to the end user. Because, you know, ultimately, you know, if you change an entire legal structure, you know, if you copy someone else's legal structure, that's easy, because then you know, lawyers already know what to do, the regulators are already familiar with it. But if you change that legal structure, then there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But ultimately, that's going to end up being benefits to the end user. That's benefits, you know, in the form of reduced costs and increased access to additional assets. So that's, you know, that's I guess my cop-out answer to some extent. But you know, but
well, I understand completely, because I know what it means to deal with all of the regulation, compliance, all the paperwork, everything associated with that. And especially from your position, you have a lot more to consider. So you probably, like, I have one lawyer and a small team of support, where I'm sure you probably have a team of lawyers and their support just piling through everything that you have to do.
Oh, multiple teams of lawyers.
Yeah, I figured as much. And so, you know, and for those that don't understand, I get it. Like, you know, when people ask for a specific time frame, when can you do this, when can you do that? Well, a lot of that is dependent on, well, it depends on getting everything filed properly, and what's going to change tomorrow, and how do we have to adapt our technology to the changes in the regulatory system, and, you know, all of this other stuff. So you're always kind of playing catch up while you're trying to develop and accomplish your goals and achieve milestones. So I feel for you. I'm not even a developer, but I understand what goes into having to deal with all the regulatory red tape and you know, some of the frustrations that can stem from that. So
right. You know, even something as, you know, as simple as Universal Wallet, or, you know, simple as the Universal Wallet, you know, there's even regulations in that. You know, we had to do a full analysis to avoid, you know, being classified as a money services business. We had to, you know, we also have to, you know, with GDPR coming out, you know, that's another thing we have to comply by. And, you know, and I think it's ethical for companies to comply by that anyways. But, you know, there's just a lot of concerns. And then also, you know, in terms of kind of the country rollout and the airdrop program, and, you know, every single one of these programs that you've seen has been heavily vetted and heavily, you know, reviewed by a legal team. And so, you know, what you're seeing is basically polished products coming out after dealing with all the issues. And, you know, we have to thread the needle in a way that it doesn't, you know, become a limit, you know, the legal factors don't become a limiting factor in terms of like what we do. And that you're able to fully, you know, have that full digital experience, but at the same time are, you know, compliant and thoughtful of regulations.
So for those of you watching, I see some of your questions. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit that bell the next time we have the millennial Bill Gates back on the Crypto Crow channel. No, I'm kidding. So so now that everybody kind of knows, all right, so it's the Netherlands. The Netherlands is going to be the first country, and then you're looking to roll out a new country approximately every 24 hours. Now that the Netherlands knows that presents are coming, when are they going to get them exactly? Like, is your team out right now sending out intro emails while you're talking to me, or is it, you know, as soon as you're finished with this video, you know, you go to work and they start getting emails? Like, what's the rollout? What's the time frame exactly?
Yeah, so anyone who's been at this stage of development is probably familiar with where we are now. Basically, we have our list of bugs, and we have a list of how many bugs we can crush every day. And so luckily, you know, our list of bugs and the number has been going down, the number of bugs. You know, you consistently kind of add more to the end. And our number of bugs that we've been crushing has been going up. And basically, by the time that list runs out, that's when you are able to release, or at least when you have all the kind of high priority bugs squashed, that's when you're able to release. So basically, what we're doing is we're trying, you know, basically racing against our own lists that we've created in order to get this wallet out. And so this is, you know, we've said it before, you know, this is kind of the final stage of development, and, you know, but there's a lot of, there's a lot of uncertainty in terms of like how long it's going to going to take, because again, it's a kind of a non-standard app. And what we're doing is, we're building an entire abstraction layer on these blockchains. And that's, the reason that we spent so much time building that is because people expected a universal wallet. They expected something that really, encompasses all sorts of different assets. And so in order to achieve that, you have to build a pretty robust abstraction layer that can handle new coins. And, I told the development team, hey, I want to get three new coins every week. And these are like 3 new chains, not like ERC20 tokens. So, right. They're building an infrastructure that's going to be able to handle that, and building an infrastructure that's going to be able to scale to, a worldwide audience, hundreds of thousands of users all over the world, right at launch. So, that's not a simple task. And so, at least we've gotten it to the product council, the beta to the product council, and it's definitely in a workable state. The product council is very happy with it. And, we even added some pre-registration users off of the pre-reg list into the product council so they could test it as well. So, it's in a kind of releasable state, if that makes sense, where, maybe some of our peers may have released it already, but we still don't feel comfortable releasing it until we can handle a global audience.
Which is going to be when?
I ask the dev team that every day. We have a meeting where I ask them, hey, when wallet? So don't worry. I'm asking on behalf of the community every day when wallet.
Right. So they haven't given you any realistic time frame then. So this isn't like a today thing. This is still kind of up in the air.
Yes and no. So, again, it's basically, when can we get all these bugs off of that list? And, Kevin's been very furiously putting that list together, and we have, many engineers working on that list. And, Derek's been a champ crushing all these bugs, and Tim's been, also a champ, crushing all the bugs on the back end. But it's a pretty sophisticated service. When you have 13 microservices all talking to one another, most of the time you don't even see 2 microservices in most apps that get released. And we have 13 different microservices in order to efficiently scale each piece and efficiently add new pieces as we grow. So we made some architectural decisions early on, which we knew would take additional time, and we all were hoping for a Q1 release, and that was our internal timeline. But as we've learned, we probably shouldn't be releasing our internal timeline to the public. So we have our internal timeline, which is soon, but I don't want to set any kind of false expectations. And we've striven to kind of run a very transparent organization and give as much information as we can, but at the same time, we don't want to mislead any of our users.
Well, look, I mean, from a development perspective, now I've been a part of some pretty sizable development projects in the past prior to crypto. And, I get what a lot of people, they just like, when's the wallet? I want the wallet. You're dragging it out. You're taking forever. You're losing your people and this and that. And, people have this sense of entitlement after having been involved in a project for so long and supporting it, that they kind of feel entitled to a now, right? And they don't really understand the time, and especially when you're talking about a project as large as Ethos, with the goals that you have in place and with the accomplishments that you're looking to meet, you can't just roll out something this complex overnight and leave bugs alone. Because we've all seen now, especially a lot of us have been involved enough to see the smallest bug in a smart contract could prove just completely damaging. You know what I mean? So take your time. Don't feel
we're
pressured.
responsible for people's money.
Exactly. If I do anything with other people's money, I can't even begin to tell you like everything that I do to try and remain secure. And so when you're talking about millions of people potentially in the very near future utilizing a service that they are counting on and relying on, I look at it this way. When you see how frustrated people get at the time frame or the expected time frame extending, imagine should there be a bug in the system at launch and one of them suffers something, you'll never hear the end of it, and it'll be this huge deal. And it's like, so I just kind of smack those people away and tell them to go watch television, and when it's done, so don't ever feel too pressured. But I have to ask you one thing, and this is very serious. Have you ever seen the movie Real Genius with Val Kilmer?
Oh, I think I've seen some clips from that. It's like where the guy sees numbers, and then he's smart because he sees numbers, and something like that.
No, Real Genius it's an old movie. Val Kilmer was of college age back in this movie, and it was basically, yeah, you can pull it up. You have to watch the movie, man, because I want you to make a promise to me right now. Now, you being like this young prodigy that you are, at such a young age, I want to make sure that you don't burn out and end up like the guy that lives in their closet, okay? Because you got to go out and have some fun, too, in the middle of all of this work. I know you got a lot of people relying on you, but first of all, you got to watch that movie because it's great. It's like it's got to be an old classic. But yeah, basically, it's these kids. They're in college. They're brilliant, and they end up being used to create a laser system for a weaponized platform on a jet. And they end up messing with this big laser, and they end up, you have to watch it. But yeah, it's a cool movie for those of you out there who haven't seen it. But there's a guy in there who was apparently the smartest guy in the entire school in his day. But he was so overloaded because he was so brilliant and accomplished so much that he burned out and ended up moving into the like this underground passage in this college. But it looks like he lives in the closet. And so I need to make sure that you have the time to go out and have some fun in the middle of all of this craziness. You can't put that stuff off. You don't want to get burnt out. Real Genius is a classic. Love it. Absolutely. It's a great movie. Okay. God, this Crypto Crow is a clown. Oh, poor guy. I forgot my makeup today, unfortunately. All right. So, Lavine is the millennial Bill Gates. Those who were there back in Microsoft days sure will be able to tell. All right. So there was one more thing that you wanted to discuss, and that was an ambassador program, right?
Yes. And so, on the note of transparency, part of what we want to do is we want to start, we've heard a lot of feedback with, from our moderators. I've kept our moderators in the loop of what's going on and what's happening next, and all the customer service representatives as well. But, they at the same time, they want to be able to, talk as informed as, core team members about what we're doing and about, all of what we're doing. And, since we want to run a transparent organization, that's, important to us. And so we're going to be launching the ambassador program very soon, which will allow, users, who have a demonstrated history with us, who want to be able to spread and talk intelligently and host, official meetups and kind of be a representative in their respective countries of kind of what we're doing. We're going to give that opportunity to people in our community. And it's going to be a very heavy vetting process because, we're going to have to verify your identity, verify, that you verify your intentions, and verify that that you're a good fit for this program. And we're going to be taking this program very seriously, but because these people are going to be gaining inside information. They're going to be able to, attend our, biweekly sprint demos, which is where we demonstrate kind of the latest work that we've been doing to, within the organization. And, as Kevin mentioned, is one of his favorite things that we do, because it's a great way for like everybody across the organization to see, what everyone else is working on. And I think it would be a fantastic opportunity to start including some other members of our community in that as well. And they'll get access to kind of our internal organizational tools. Of course, not God level access, but they'll get access to what we're working on, and then they'll be responsible for helping us communicate it out, and help us communicate everything that we're doing to the world. And so we're thinking that there'll only be one ambassador per country. So it's going to be, again, a very, very selective process. And I've already, before I even announced this, I've already gotten tons of people asking from like certain countries to be the ambassador for that country. And so, you know, we're very excited to announce that and open that up to everybody.
Very good. Very good. All right. I mean, is there anything else that you wanted to touch on or explain or anything?
No. Well, you know, you'll see. I think, you know, we'll have probably a couple of recaps of all the stuff that was announced today. You know, we have the Netherlands being the first country. You'll see a little kind of screen grab of our global rollout page, which we'll, you know, be releasing very soon. And then you'll see, you know, our ambassador program start to take shape. And we've already talked with our moderators and customer service representatives about this, but, you know, you'll see, you'll start to see that opportunity come up, and we're very excited to kind of move to this final stage of development where we'll finally be able to start releasing the wallet to people. You know, I've already started, you know, using this wallet a little, quite a bit. You know, not the real wallet functionality yet because we haven't moved to mainnet, but you know, just keeping track of portfolios, and, you know, everybody that's used it has been really happy with it, and, you know, they already are being converted off of Blockfolio for it. So we're very excited.
You're teasing us now more. You're just adding insult to injury, Shingo. I see where this is going. No, it looks great. I'm very excited. I can't wait until the United States is the second country to get this thing. I really can't. I hope you can make that happen, man. Kidding, people, kidding. Obviously, I have no clue what the hell the plan is, but I'm hoping the USA isn't too far behind. I have a feeling that it's going to matter, I don't know, paperwork, probably, more than anything. All right, yeah, so everybody, you've heard it here. Netherlands is the first country. Get involved in the ambassador program when that launches, and yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of it in a nutshell. I mean, obviously, you're welcome anytime, yeah, unless there's anything else, I would say that's probably, I'm looking at questions. I don't see a lot of questions, just a lot of comments going on. So, yeah, everybody, hopefully you guys had a good time. Shingo, thank you very much for joining me, and go watch that movie, man. Take a break. Tell all your people to go buzz off for a while. Give yourself an hour and a half, take a break, crack a beer, and I won't tell anybody. All right, until next time, guys, thanks for joining us. Make sure you hit subscribe, hit the alert bell, check my links in the description, and until next time, everybody, thanks for joining us. Grow your coins. Thank you again, Shingo Lavine, CEO of Ethos. He is going to be one of the biggest names in cryptocurrency, I'm sure, in the very, very near future. So thanks, guys. See you later.